in October, and I tell you, just so you can appreciate the board members or know who is on the board members, would all the board members please stand? Just take a look around. And Carl also, he's running the video, but he is also on the board. So folks, these are the guys who get together, Michelle included. These are the people who meet and get together once a month and discuss what we need to know and what we need to do with KCIG and what we can do to bring value to you as a member to help you. This is not just about filling a room every third Thursday of the month. It's not just about getting together. Thank you guys, you can be seated. But it's about bringing value to these people as a member and helping them reach their end goal of becoming a successful real estate investor. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would completely agree. And you know, going back to your funding thing, one of the things that as an investor that you come to realize is there's different types of funding for different type of goals that you have. If you're looking for a buy and hold, there's funding for that. If you're looking to flip, there's funding for that, transactional funding. If you're looking to do commercial or do straight, residential, there's so many different exit strategies for getting a passive income as well as the funding that goes with it. So.
Absolutely. So if you really want to get it done, and if you're like me, I'm just transparent here. My first deal, I did the whole thing with fear and trepidation. Scared spitless. From the phone call to signing the contract, making the offer, when I didn't have that kind of cash in my checking account or savings account or my 401k. But you take it one step at a time, and you have things in place, and then you see how to do the next one. And kind of like driving your car at home night when you leave here. Your headlights won't show you the whole way home, but they'll get you to where you need, and then they'll keep shining. So, and then, walked away with a check in my hand at the end of the whole deal, and sat down and breathed a sigh of relief and thought, if this is what it's all about, I can do this. I can do this. I'm off to the races. So, that being said, we're going to turn this over to Cindy, and she has some things that she wants to point out and say, and then she's going to introduce the speakers for this evening, and she will take it away. Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Good evening, people. How are you tonight? Come on. I want more excitement. How are you all tonight?
Wonderful.
Yay. Okay. The first thing I'm going to talk about, we recently sent out a survey. I wanted to see about feedback on the financing that people acquire that's in our system, and we have captured their emails. I would like the group, if you would raise your hand, how many of you in the last 12 months have closed a real estate transaction and acquisition? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of you that closed used financing for that transaction?
Does that include private?
Private, that includes private, hard money, bank money, okay? And, okay. And how many of you have done the financing or even acquired properties? How many have you that has acquired 1 to 5 properties in the last 12 months? How many people acquired 5 to 10 properties in the last 12 months? And how many people have acquired 10 to 20 properties in the last 12 months? Okay, thank you. All right, well, then we sent out the survey, and what we're doing is we're giving away a $30 Panaris card for all those that participated in the survey. So from now on, you all might want to participate in the survey. A $30 Panaris card is not bad, is it? That's a couple lunches or 6 Frappuccinos. So the winner, my receptionist at work picked the winner. The winner is David Poole. Is he here this evening? You're the winner. Thank you very much, David. Now you can take, both of you can go to lunch tomorrow. Okay, the next thing, I am in the process. How many of you, raise your hands if any of you attended when we had Chris Johnson come and talk about grant funding earlier this year? Okay. I am in the process of booking him now for a Saturday seminar in November. How many of you would be interested in that as far as real estate funding goes? Okay. Ideally, what I have penciled in right now, okay, penciled in because I haven't sent the check to the library, is November 18th. I believe that's on a Saturday. Okay? Now, the other thing I just booked late this afternoon, so it wasn't when we didn't have the PowerPoint on because we had issues. I've been around real estate for longer than I'm older. I mean, I've been in it over 30 years and I'm only 25. So I try to provide you all tools that I think might implement and increase your business. If there's anything you all want to know more about, please tell me. If you don't want to tell me, you can email KCIG, you can tell another board member. I want to know where you all can improve and build your business, okay? One of the ideas I had, and I don't always agree with everything government-wise, okay, but not all of us do, is the Land Bank of Kansas City. I reached out to them today. I am going to have them come in and talk next month. They're going to talk about the land bank, which most of that is Kansas City, most of it's Jackson County, but not all of it. And then they also have another nonprofit within themselves. It's called Kansas City, Missouri Homesteading Authority. They're going to come in and talk next month. The Homesteading Authority, it has properties, I think, on both sides of the state line. I know for sure in Missouri more than just Jackson County, but I think also Kansas. Watch the website, because what these are, what you do want to be cautious and do your homework on, okay? Before you would acquire one of these properties, have a title company do research, because you want to make sure your backside's covered. And when I say that, let me explain more. I'm sorry. There could have been a lien on it, a federal lien, he was telling me today. If there was a federal lien, let's say I owed the IRS $50,000 and I was an investor. They would have put a lien on that property. They could have. That lien doesn't always go away. So before you would want to do an acquisition of these properties, do your research and get your title company to do the research, okay? But they can be good deals. I was amazed you can buy land for $1. So, you know, there's opportunities out there. And I just want to know what can help you out. Yeah, a lot of these are down in the core, but then there's some that I noticed up north of the river, okay? So and that's not, you know, the values don't decrease up there as quickly. So do you all want to give me any feedback on topics you would like in the future? What's of interest to you that we can help you all with? Marketing? Marketing to buyer or just sellers or buyers or what? Both? Okay. Internet, I mean, what kind of marketing? Every kind?
Everything gets paid.
Everything gets paid? Okay, yeah.
Finding deals not in the NLS.
Amen. Yes. I agree. And what I was just talking to somebody about, I think that there is a lot of deals. It's not on MLS. I've noticed myself, the company I work with, which I'll talk about that in a minute, they do portfolio acquisitions. Those aren't in the MLS. You know, and there's a lot of people with money that are acquiring these large portfolios of REO properties. They don't typically list them in the MLS, but Fannie and Freddie do, you know. So, what else, guys?
Accounting.
Huh?
Accounting.
Accounting? What kind?
Just like making sure that you're keeping your books correct on all of your stuff that you have going on. Whether it's because you're buying gold and you're figuring all that, or it's because you're rehabbing and you have to figure out all that. But just making sure that everything's right on tax time.
Okay.
I know that's thrilling for some people.
It's exciting.
You might not agree.
No, but it's important for tax taxation, you know, it's important on a lot of levels, so yeah, thank you. What, anything else? Because I want to know what's going to make you all happy. The other one, yes,
I say property management and asset management.
yeah. I talked to a couple people today about that. They give me away. Well, I talked to, a lot of times, that's hard. That's the way I'll say it, and I'll be nice. That's hard. That's what I want to say. What can I say about property management, Dave? That's a hard one, I think. You know, property management. But we will look into that. What else? Okay. The other one that I want to bring, and I'm really, and I tend to try to humor you all, I'm going to be short. I've noticed with 14 years with investors, a lot of times there's a great deal of lack of knowledge. I don't want to say ignorance, but lack of knowledge when it comes to what fraud is. And it's heartbreaking at times. And so one of the people I'm trying to get in here is the FBI again. We've had them come in a couple times because they explain what fraud is. I mean, a lot of times, we know what fraud is, but as far as the description in real estate. And we had Julia Jensen come in a few years ago, and I love her because she said, you know, I don't know why people rob banks. She said, you got to go in with your head covered, and you got to run, and you don't have any friends, and you leave, and you don't get that much money. She goes, but fraud? She said, you can go in dressed up, you can smile, you can walk out. She said, you make more money. And I reached out to her on her cell phone because the FBI wasn't returning my calls. And she told me she works in the field now. And she goes, you call this number and it's going to say for bank robberies, press 9. She goes, press 9. And I'm like, okay. And she said, ask for this guy. And I did. That moment I realized I'm in the BMO Harris building on the second floor. And it's like, oh, Lord God. Please don't have the cops out here. So, anyway, okay, enough of that. But I'm thinking about the FBI. The other thing, how many of you know what the Mid-America Regional Council is? Raise your hand if you do. Okay. How many of you have ever been active and attended the meetings? How many of you found it informational? Interesting. I just was curious, because that was one other thing. You didn't find it?
Well, I was working with a different part of the city, and what I was doing had really nothing much to do with real estate, so.
Okay. I'm going to try to get them. I've attended a couple of their luncheons before, and it's great. They want to improve a lot of communities. So anyway, all right, I'm going to get off this. I'm ranting. I apologize.